To the young man who seeks to live well. The most difficult moral dilemmas often go unnoticed by us because they take place over time, yet their consequences are compounding. We're taught to examine morality through clear-cut scenarios like stealing bread to feed your family, switching train tracks to save one loved one over 5 strangers, being forced to harm someone else in order to save yourself. Each of these is transactional, explicit, and designed to prompt contemplation. But these conventional moral dilemmas do little to prepare us for the modern reality. In real life, it's much more common to experience subtler decisions, ones whose consequences only manifest themselves over time. That's what I want to talk about, because I believe that the act of identifying one's purpose is a moral act. According to conventional moral theology, every human act can be judged based on 3 key elements: the object, what is being done; the intention, why it's being done; the circumstances, who, when, where, and how. Together, these elements form what's known as the moral act. Identifying your purpose is a moral act, not because it involves a flashy moment of crisis, but because of its repetition, its subtlety, its potential to become a sin of omission. Every day we're offered 2 options: to act with purpose, building character, identity, and meaning, or to let our days pass in idle comfort, distracted, sedated, unexamined. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You don't love yourself enough, or else you'd love your nature too, in what it demands of you." To truly love yourself, you have to love who you're meant to be. To truly love yourself, you have to know who you're meant to be, and the work that it's going to take to get there. Concupiscence is the idea that humans have a natural inclination to sin. It's predicated on the reallocation of our perception of goods, where higher order goods are treated as less important than lower order goods. It's a result of delayed versus immediate gratification, and it's a major factor in this moral dilemma, because it's much more difficult to consider actions in the context of their long-term effects than to simply act based on what feels good right now. The morality of the scenario comes from being vigilant and active in the way that you carry out your life. In the case of identifying one's purpose, the object is your character, your soul. The intention is whether to develop that character or to let it fade. The consequences, whether or not you actually live out your potential. It's been said that the weight of a day spent in idleness is heavier than the burden of honest work. No matter how hard it might be to pursue your purpose, it will always fulfill you more than living a life that falls short of who you're meant to be. This is pressing because the progression of humanity is deeply tied to our natural proclivity to pursue a higher good. But it's easier than ever to forget that relationship, to let other people take the reins while we sit idly by. But let me be clear, the world you live in now is the product of a long chain of individuals who didn't sit idly by. People who took the harder path, who endured discomfort, who pursued meaning not because they were told to, but because something within them knew it was necessary. The thinkers who shaped ideas, the builders who raised cities, the artists who stirred hearts, the saints and leaders who carried the burdens of generations. They were not perfect, but they acted with purpose. They acted with intention. And no one is asking you to become a hero overnight, but every man, in whatever station he finds himself, can become a builder of that greater good. You can live deliberately. You can push back against the current of apathy. You can choose to matter. Stoic philosopher Ryan Holiday says, "Death chides us that we may as well do life right." Don't let your life end with regret. Don't let it end without ever finding out the reason you were alive for. Some will argue that not needing a purpose is freeing, that if you can experience life comfortably without burden, why force yourself to seek some divine path? Maybe that works for one person, but what would humanity look like if everybody subscribed to that idea? We don't have to face that world yet because some people still choose to search for meaning. They still choose to carry the weight. So maybe the act of finding purpose, it isn't just personal, it's ethical, it's sacred, it's moral. And the world you leave behind will depend on which path you choose. So I leave this letter with you, not as a command, but as a challenge, because no one else can make this choice for you, but if you do make it, truly make it, you will not only find yourself, you will become someone worth finding. Signed, Letters to a Young Man.